Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at some of my favorite backpacks from Patagonia. Patagonia is of course a very well-known brand all around the world. I see these anywhere that I'm traveling, and I've really come to appreciate the functionality that they offer as I've used them more over the past couple of years. They're not always the most feature-rich bags, but in my opinion they do the basics very well. They offer a solid build quality, and they also have a nice variety of styles to pick from. And that's what I want to talk about in this video, is some of the similarities and the differences between their popular bags to hopefully make it a little bit easier to decide which one might be best for you. So really excited to dive in. Before doing so, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing, as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. As we get started, one thing I wanted to call out is that this doesn't represent all of the backpacks in Patagonia's lineup. I tried to focus on the ones that I would say are the most common and the ones that I have the most hands-on experience with. And so in this video, we're gonna be talking about the Refugio line and the Black Hole lineup. What's interesting about the Black Hole line in particular is that it seems to be split into a travel focused line and more of kind of a hybrid hiking, everyday carry, and travel line. So they have, as part of the Black Hole line, the MLC series, which stands for Max Legal Carry-On. And so I'll talk a little bit about the bags that are contained within each of these series as we dive in. I'll start off with the Refugio line, which includes a 26-liter size and a 30-liter size that I don't have in this video. I did do a review of that a while ago if you want to take a look. The Refugio line is interesting. It was updated not that long ago, and it still maintains some of the same aesthetic as the previous edition, and it's a really functional bag. I really appreciate just the simplicity almost that it includes. And so, you know, to me this feels like a bag that is designed to be kind of your classic hiking or everyday bag. So very functional, but they seem to have cleaned up the appearance in the latest edition so that it's not so overwhelmingly kind of technical looking. So before, the webbing was prominently along the front. Now you have a couple of, attachment points on the corners, and you still have the functional sort of appearance. You've got, external water bottle pockets, compression straps. So it feels like a pretty classic backpack in my opinion. The 30-liter version is a little bit different aesthetically, but it still has the same sort of a vibe. And then as far as the capacities, there is this 26-liter version that I have here, which is really great. I'm a huge fan of this size because it's able to hold a pretty impressive amount without feeling overwhelmingly big. I think that this is gonna be an excellent personal item size, as something that can hold a good amount but still fit under the seat in front of you. And it's just a very simple bag, which allows it to hold more than you would think. Same goes for the 30-liter bag. It can hold a surprising amount for the size and silhouette that it has. And so that's one of my favorite things about their bags in general, is that sort of flexibility that they offer. And then the functionality, as I was saying, they have the external water bottle pockets, one on each side, compression straps to allow you to tighten the bag, to hold additional things that don't fit on the inside. They have a carrying handle at the top. This 26-liter version actually stands up pretty well when it's packed out. And then, the harness system on these is gonna be pretty comfortable. They're not that different across the various Patagonia line. So they have a good bit of padding, nice breathable mesh, breathable back panels with a good amount of padding. They're not the most rigid as far as the structure, which helps keep the weight down, but that's something that you want to keep in mind if you're planning to carry a heavy load, as they're not going to be as supportive maybe as some other bags. And then with the Refugio line, the layout is pretty simple. Both the 30 and 26-liter size are going to have a quick access pocket. I like the vertical zipper on the smaller 26-liter size. I feel like this is just really useful. You can place the bag down, grab whatever you need. It can hold an impressive amount of stuff, and it also has a good bit of volume, which makes it even more useful. And then you have, just a very spacious main area, very simple. It's gonna be able to handle bulkier accessories very comfortably. No internal organization in this main compartment. And then on the back, you have a dedicated laptop and hydration bladder area. Now, this is one of the big changes with the latest editions of the Refugio bag, is that they include this laptop caddy, or laptop sleeve, you could say. It's removable. And this was something that I wasn't as crazy about when I first reviewed this bag, because I liked the layout of the previous edition. I generally have a laptop with me, but I think this is actually pretty unique for this bag in that you can have this great accessory that's actually included, and it is gonna offer a good bit of protection for your laptop. And it also has, a zippered pocket on the front that will be great for storing cables and some of the other more tech-focused accessories that you have. So when you arrive at wherever you're gonna be working from, you can take this out, use it. But one of the reasons that people have called this out as being a cool feature is that it also helps eliminate some of the weight that you'll be carrying with you, particularly if you just wanna use the bag more for hiking or for traveling. If you're not taking your laptop, you still have a dedicated compartment that you can use for a hydration bladder. It's got a pass-through. And you can just save some weight. You can use this for storing other things that aren't tech focused and leave the sleeve at home. So I think that that's a pretty cool feature. Modularity is always nice for how much flexibility it provides. And this is included with the bag, which is also great that it's not something that you have to purchase separately. So it feels like you get kind of a bonus with the Refugio line with that. The main compartment across the 30 liter and the 26 liter is a little bit different in how it's implemented. The quick access pocket looks a little different, but they both include the sleeve that you can remove. The one that the 30 liter has some extra pocketing, I believe. And then of course you get the extra space. So that'll really come down to how much capacity you want. But the 26 liter for me is really the sweet spot. And then bringing in the black hole line, as I mentioned, there is the MLC portion of the black hole line and then just the regular black hole packs. There are 2 sizes for both of those series. So that's 4 different bags that are classified as kind of the black hole series. And right here I have the 25 liter black hole pack, which is a really great kind of EDC / hiking bag. So to me, these are the most similar, the 26 liter Refugio and the 25 liter black hole pack. Now this 25 liter has the webbing along the front, which gives it a little bit more of a technical vibe. But capacity wise, they're gonna be pretty similar. The black hole bags also have the external water bottle compartments. They have a really similar harness system, but one thing that is nice on these is that they include a luggage pass-through. So they are slightly more travel focused. You'll be able to rest this on your suitcase while traveling, which is always great to see. And then they have a couple of quick access pockets on the front. You have this vertically oriented one. It's a little bit taller. You have a great top quick access pocket. So you have an extra organizational option with the black hole pack than you do over the Refugio. Now, this one does not have a dedicated laptop compartment, the 25 liter size. So this one has it integrated into the main compartment, and you have this top loading style that's a little different than the main area of the Refugio. They're both top loading bags, but one's kind of this bucket style and one's got a more traditional kind of classic backpack feel. And so both of them work very well in my opinion. And then on the back of the black hole pack, you have the well padded laptop sleeve. It's got this Velcro strap to help keep your device in place. There isn't a hydration pass-through, which I thought was interesting because the previous edition of the black hole pack did have it. So that's a little bit of a loss, but I don't really use this bag for that too much. So just something worth calling out. And then on the inside of this main compartment, you do have a zippered mesh pocket that's going to be great for any smaller items that you don't want getting lost in this main area. And then the 25 liters of capacity, like the Refugio, it's pretty simple, so it can hold an impressive amount. It's a deceptively spacious area, and I find that the black hole pack has a maybe slightly slimmer silhouette when they're both packed out. It feels like it's just going to be a little bit more streamlined, so it's another aspect to keep in mind. But both of these are going to be kind of the EDC options in this lineup. And then transitioning more to the 2 sizes of the black hole series, there's the 25 liter size and then we have the 32 liter size. And this 32 liter size always surprises me with how versatile it ends up being. At 32 liters, it feels like something that would probably be a little bit too big for day-to-day usage, but I found that it can actually do quite well as a daily bag, for longer days if you're going on a longer hike, or as a travel bag. So it's a really kind of sneakily versatile size, those 32 liters. It's got the same layout for the most part as the 25 liter size. The biggest difference is going to be that the larger bag has a dedicated laptop compartment. So it's got on the back this sort of 3/4 opening zip to make it very easy to get your device in and out while you're traveling. You do have the luggage pass-through on this one as well. So it's great to have the dedicated laptop area. Similar harness system here, well padded, breathable, and then you have dual rows of webbing along the front versus just having the one row on the 25 liter. So that's another one of the differences. You have an extra handle as well, so making it a little bit easier to just kind of pick this up, load this into a trunk and overhead storage area. You can even use this handle as like a secondary luggage pass-through, which I've done in the past. And then you have, again, the quick access pocket on the front. You have a really spacious top quick access pocket. I'm always shocked at how much this one can hold. Great for pouches, great for larger over-ear headphones. And then of course you have the same sort of bucket style main compartment as the smaller edition, which just swallows up an impressive amount of stuff. I've used this for minimal travel many times, just toss in some packing cubes, pair of shoes, and it always feels like it has a little bit of room for something else. So it also has a flexible layout, which allows it to just kind of squeeze into some of those tighter areas, mold around the items that you have on the inside. So for minimal travel, fantastic. For EDC, it can work, especially if it's not as full. You know, it'll kind of collapse in. But if you're just looking for more of an everyday carry bag that's gonna be a little bit slimmer and more manageable, 25 liter is gonna be great. And then we have the MLC line, which again stands for Max Legal Carry-On. There is a mini edition and the regular edition. Here I have the Mini MLC, which I've featured in a ton of different videos because this has been one of my favorite minimal travel bags and personal item bags for the past couple of years. I've been really impressed with how versatile this bag ends up being. At 30 liters, you can hold a really impressive amount of stuff, but because of that structure that I was talking about with this bag and the fact that it's more flexible, it never ends up looking that big and it can squeeze into tighter spaces pretty comfortably. It is a little bit taller, so depending on the airline that you're flying, you have to keep an eye out for that if you want to try to use it as a personal item, but I have done so a couple of times and it's slid under the seat very easily, and it looks a little bit slimmer than the 32 liter black hole pack, just slightly, but you know, this has a more streamlined kind of travel friendly appearance, whereas this one has a more technical hiking outdoorsy vibe because of the extra webbing along the front. Of course, the bright color here makes it stand out a little bit more, but the MLC, really cool, minimal looking, besides the large Patagonia logos on the front, which I hadn't called out yet, but I know that's kind of a sticking point for some people. It is very prominent. I wish that they had something more minimal, but you know, it's something that I just accept with these bags because of all the other functionality that they offer. I think it's worth the trade-off. And then, you know, really great materials on this one as well. It's been pretty similar across all of them. Ripstop, weather resistant, fairly lightweight materials. And with the MLC, you do still have a couple of attachment points along the front that you can pair with compression straps. You can clip on additional accessories. It's just not quite the same as the dual rows of webbing on the standard black hole pack. And then you have a handle at the top. You have one at the side as well. So you can carry this like a briefcase if you want to, which pairs nicely with the fact that this does include a luggage pass-through as well. Then the straps in the back panel are pretty similar here, but one big difference with the MLC line is that you do have the ability to hide the straps away. So if you want to store them, you can actually do so very easily. And this includes a shoulder strap that doubles as a waist belt. So if you want to carry this more like a shoulder bag, you can do so. You can place the waist belt in through the bottom. That's something that's not available on the other bags. So again, the travel focus here in wearing the bag for a longer time when it's more loaded out. The waist belt can be a little bit more helpful. With the Mini MLC, you do have an external water bottle pocket, but only one, as opposed to the two that you have on some of the other bags that we've been talking about, because you have the handle on the side. And so, you know, that's again another thing to keep in mind on how important having both of those water bottle pockets is for your travel needs. And then the MLC also has a dedicated laptop and tech area. It does open flat, so it's kind of TSA friendly, you could say. I still always have to take my laptop, put it in the bin, so I'm not always a huge fan of this, but I suppose that it does provide some nice visibility into the organizational options that are provided on the other side. You have some good elastic pockets for your chargers, your cables, hard drive, mouse. You have a couple of slots for pen, clip, and then the laptop and tablet implementation is really solid here as far as just being properly suspended off the bottom of the ground. Good bit of space, easy to get to. You have an excellent quick access pocket on this bag right at the top. So, you know, easy to get to some of the items that you're using most regularly. And then you have the clamshell style opening, which is, you know, great, always for travel, very easy to load this out. You have a zippered mesh divider to keep all of your stuff in place. You can roll this away and tuck it into the bottom of the bag if you want to use this more as a daily bag. But I really like this open space. It's able to handle a surprising amount, and then you have just a couple of additional zippered pockets on the lid that I think work quite well, especially because they have some volume that extends outwards, so you can actually use these to hold quite a few different types of items. So really love the layout of this Mini MLC. I've made a video about how this is one of my favorite personal items and talking through all of the reasons. So this is something that I keep coming back to. And you know, these two I would say are probably the most versatile out of the ones that we're looking at, particularly if you want something that's a little bit more travel friendly. But if you need a little bit more space, we can take a look at the regular Max Legal Carry-On. So this is the big brother of the Mini MLC. The larger MLC comes in at about 45 liters, so it's definitely towards the edge of the limits of what a lot of the international airlines will consider a carry-on bag. It's a little bit larger than what I'm typically comfortable carrying. On domestic airlines, I wouldn't think there'd be any issues with this size. I've used bags like this very comfortably, but if I'm traveling internationally, that's something that I definitely try to keep in mind. But regardless, 45 liters is a really spacious size. This is the most spacious bag as far as the backpacks that I have here. And you know, it's able to hold an impressive amount. Like the smaller version, it's got the flexible layout, very rugged exterior fabric. Couple of the differences to kind of think through here on the exterior, you have additional compression straps that will help you tighten the bag down when it's not as full. They'll also give you some added functionality if you want to attach additional items. One thing with this one is that there is no external water bottle pockets, which I was a little bit sad to see. It seems like there's space here for that, but for a bag of this size, could see some people maybe not wanting to use the water bottle with it. So it's not there. If the water bottle is important, you might want to look at one of the other options. Beyond that, very similar style handles at the top, on the sides. Harness system with this one is going to be the same as far as being able to be used as a shoulder bag if you want to tuck the straps away. The padding is pretty similar here, and then you also have the included waist belt, or you can use it as a shoulder bag. So very, very similar there. And then you don't have some of the same organization on the larger version, so it's even simpler, which might be good in some ways as far as maximizing the capacity in the main area, but you just don't have the top quick access pocket that you have with the smaller edition. You don't have anything along the front, so really, really simple. And then you do still have a dedicated laptop and tech area, and the style here is a little bit different. This one opens more suitcase style versus the clamshell style of the Mini MLC. And when I saw the kind of description of this bag on one of the videos that Huckberry did on their site, it was interesting to hear them talk about how this is meant to work almost like a book. And so I can kind of see that. You still have the well padded and suspended laptop sleeve here, plenty of space. You have still some good slip pockets, organization on one side, so you can just kind of open this up, grab what you need, and then you can flip it open to get to the main area if you need to. And so different style depending on your needs could work. I still prefer the Mini MLC, but then you also have the very spacious main area. And so this has a zipper that goes all the way around. So again, suitcase style opening here. You do have to release the compression straps to get into this main area, which can always be a little bit cumbersome. I suppose it could provide some additional security, and you do have the functionality of those compression straps, but that's something that you'll want to keep in mind. And then you have one large, very spacious main area. Like the Mini MLC, it has the zippered mesh divider on the compartment that would be holding the majority of your items to help keep them in place, compress them down. What is different is the way the space is distributed. It's almost inverted. With the Mini MLC, the main area is on the back, whereas with the regular MLC, most of the packing space is concentrated towards the front. So with the big one, you would probably be placing the bag down on its front face, opening it up and packing it, whereas with the Mini MLC, you would be putting it on its back, opening it up, and then packing everything out. So interesting that they were treated so differently as far as their layout, as that to me is a pretty big style preference on which way works better. I tend to prefer having the ability to place the bag down on its straps. I know some people prefer to have the straps up to maintain the back being a little bit cleaner. So that might sway you in one direction or the other. And then you just have, really a ton of space here for packing cubes. I mean, I was able to place my normal packing cube setup and then a ton of additional stuff with 45 liters of space. I mean, you can really load this out. You also have a couple of zippered pockets in the main area for the large edition. But again, they're a little different because instead of being on the front flap where the volume can expand outward, here they're kind of sharing space with the tech area. So still useful, but they're not gonna be maybe as voluminous as the ones on the Mini MLC. So, just some of the small things to think about as you're considering the different models, as it's not just gonna be a larger version of the smaller version. There's some of those layout things that you'll want to consider, but as far as just having a really large bag to haul your stuff when you're in the airport, just to get to your destination, I think that this does a really great job. It's durable, it's gonna offer the space that you need, enough comfort, but it's just not gonna offer as many quick access options as some of the other bags in the Patagonia lineup. And then the last thing I wanna talk about is the pricing. Patagonia is a brand that to me feels like it's in a more premium category, and some of their bags are priced along those lines. You do have the Refugio line, which feels like the most affordable in their bag lineup. These come in at a little bit over $100 for the 26 liter size. It might be a little bit more for the 30 liter, but that feels pretty reasonable to me considering the brand, the build quality, the features that it offers. And then you have the Black Hole line, which the 32 liter and the 25 liter are gonna be maybe slightly more than the Refugio bags, but they're still gonna come in at around $150 to $175 around that, I believe. The 32 liter can start to get closer to $200, and then that's where it kind of aligns with the Mini MLC. I believe that this comes in at like $199, and pretty comparable between the two. And the Max legal carry-on, the largest one, is probably gonna be over $200. So at that point, it starts to compete with some of the other really great one bag travel options that I talk about on the channel. At $200, especially with how high bag prices are starting to go, the Mini MLC still feels pretty reasonable in my opinion. Same for the Black Hole bags. Like, they offer a good bit of functionality for their pricing. Patagonia seems to stand behind their products. They offer repair programs. And so, although none of these bags are gonna be cheap, it does feel like they have a pretty nice balance of different options depending on your budget and what you're looking for, and that are gonna compare well against some of the other similar bags in their respective price ranges. And so that's it. That's my overview of some of the popular bags in Patagonia's lineup. Hopefully this video was helpful, and if you have any questions on the items that I covered in the video or suggestions for similar items that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I'll make sure to include links in the description below to the dedicated reviews that I've done for the bags that I talked about in the video, as well as to some of the other roundup videos that I've done where I talk about some of my favorite one bag travel options, my favorite everyday carry bags. And if you have ideas for other roundups that you'd like to see, definitely let me know about those as well. And I want to thank Huckberry for sending the bags for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.